What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today I've got a video for you of a 100-inch 4K laser projector. So when I was actually putting together this entire office loft, my initial intention was to actually put in a laser TV. And the reason for that is we're able to have this wall for filming and different setups, but at the same time, it is able to give a very large image to watch like movies and TV shows or sports in the evenings, and to just have like a very large home theater experience. And I've got to say, after trying a few of them, they kind of vary in terms of the experience, but I want to give a huge thanks to JMGO for reaching out and sponsoring this video, because behind me I have their flagship U2 model, which is the 100-inch 4K laser projector that is a tri-color laser, has great audio, and in general is very well put together. And I think the best part about it is that the price is actually very accessible when you compare it to other laser TVs out there. The ones that I've seen in the past have ranged from $4,000, $5,000, $7,000, or even $9,000, and I just didn't really feel like it was completely worth it, especially if you're comparing it to like a very high-end OLED TV, which is right around that price range. But for the price of just about $2,100, I think this is an extremely good deal because it still gives you a 100-inch image. It has all the smart TV features built in, and it also has much better speakers and audio technology than the other ones that I've tested. And I also found that it was a lot quieter because due to its size and its whole like cooling setup, it just doesn't get nearly as loud, because one of the biggest things with any projector, and not only laser ones, is that they do produce a lot of heat just because of the amount of power and image size that it is able to do in just such a short space. So today we're going to be talking about the setup process, as well as the image quality, the sound quality, and also the smart TV experience, and just some of the different experiences that I had from watching like TV shows, YouTube videos, and also connecting like a PlayStation or a Chromecast to it. But just starting out with the setup process itself, it was very easy. It's actually a lot larger than I expected, but I think it looks incredibly good. It is all made out of metal. It has like a nice silver finish to it, and as you can see, it is also very well thought out in its design. It's just very clean and seamless, and as you can see in this living room, it just looks very elegant. And what I liked about the setup process is that it is literally plug and play. There's a set of alignment sticks for the distance on the back to get you the 100-inch image, and it's about a foot away from the wall at the moment. And there's also some alignment feet on the bottom that allow you to adjust the height of the image as well. And it is actually a fixed focus laser, so I didn't have to like tamper with the different like field of view and like the focus and all that. I literally turned it on and it is fully in focus and ready to go. And no joke, within like 30 seconds, the 100-inch image just looked incredible. Going into detail about the design though, as I said, it is all very seamless, it looks good, but I think my favorite feature about it is that it actually utilizes all of its size very effectively. Not only is it very good at cooling, but it does also have 360 sound with a pair of 15-watt full range magnetic speakers and also two 10-watt tweeters. And you can see like the two like floating speaker elements on the top almost look like what you would find in a high-end car. I believe it was like either the Harman Kardon or the Bang & Olufsen, and that was like instantly what stood out. The fact that this isn't just like a simple box design, but instead like a piece of art that lives in your living room and not only produces a great image, but just looks so good and comes with functionality elements as well with the audio technology. But we're gonna go ahead and talk a bit more about the sound quality a little bit later. So in terms of image quality, I did mention that this is able to produce up to a 4K resolution, but one of its best features is the fact that it is a tri-color laser. Traditionally in projectors, what you're going to see is a single light source that passes through a color ring that is able to produce the different colors, and that will traditionally give you like a BT709 color space. But what is unique about a tri-color laser is that there's individual RGB color laser elements that kind of go by its name, obviously, and instead is able to give you a much better image quality reproduction in terms of its colors. And the actual color space is BT2020, which is 114% coverage. It also has HDR10 support, and with the lumen rating of about 2400, and it can go up to 3600 with an ASR screen behind. This is actually very bright and in line with some of the projectors that cost 2 to 3 times more in the laser TV spectrum. Overall, when it does come to the image quality though, with the screen you are able to watch in the daytime, but I think where these projectors really do shine is in the evening. It just gives you like a very surreal and large experience that you can't get out of a TV, because obviously a 100-inch TV is not exactly accessible. And if you do have like a home theater that doesn't have any windows, for example, and you're able to really enjoy that, then a laser TV is going to be something that I can recommend any day of the week. I think just like having it set up in the loft office where there's multiple levels really makes it cool as well, because I'm able to like go upstairs and look down and see just like such a large screen that it really does give you the feeling of having a movie theater in your home or living space. As I mentioned, the projector out of the box was sharp, and not having to do like all the calibration steps is often very nice. And in this case, it actually did a really good job of sensing everything. And with the actual alignment tools and brackets that are built into the projector itself, it allows you to get that perfect setup right away. And I also felt like with the tricolor and everything, the colors were actually very well reproduced. They're accurate, they're vibrant, and it also gives you the ability to switch between different modes, which I always like, because if you're gaming, you might want to have a different setting, but if you're like watching like a TV show or something, or sports, you might want to adjust to like a max brightness, or you could also use the automatic brightness as well, which I found to be working pretty well depending on the actual ambient light. So those are all like options of like flexibility, but also like an automatic setup, which all come together to give you like that perfect experience. But just in terms of image quality alone, I will say that after testing out a few laser TVs, for the price, you're getting an incredible value here, because when you're watching movies that are specifically like very well shot, you do really notice that the color spectrum can either be very dull in some cases, but with the tricolor laser and the wider color gamut of 114% coverage, it does really have that dynamic range in its image. In terms of the port setup though, it has two HDMI ports, one of them being HDMI eARC, which is the audio return channel. So if you want to connect like an actual hi-fi speaker system or like a soundbar, you definitely can, but the speakers built in are actually pretty good. It's actually a 360 surround speaker setup that is made in collaboration with Dyn Audio, and it has dual 15-watt full range magnetic speakers with two 10-watt tweeters for like a very nice immersive and acoustic experience. The 2400cc sound cavity really does give it like a nice richness and separation to it, but at the same time it is also Dolby and DTS dual certified. I mean, all these things on paper and like the certifications are one thing, and if the sound quality is not good, then they don't really matter. But I can tell you that in this case, after watching like YouTube videos or even like connecting a phone to it via Bluetooth and playing music out of it, I would say that is actually very much in line with like a solid dedicated Bluetooth speaker that you can buy. And I would say like the overall like power that it's able to produce at about 15 watts each, as well as like the tweeters that complement it, is definitely enough to fill a room that would suit the size of a 100-inch projector. And even though like every company has like their own sound technology, I think the biggest thing that I noticed was different about the JAM Go U2 is that the sound had much better separation instead of just being like a powerful speaker coming out of one place with like a badge stuck on it in collaboration with like another audio company. In this case, you could take a look at the speaker grills as they surround the speaker itself, and also like the two pieces up top, that it really does deliver a very rich experience. And whether you're sitting in like the middle or the side, you can definitely feel like the separation in the audio. But I do also like the flexibility of being able to connect something via HDMI ARC or also through optical to really take that home theater experience to the next level if you would like. Honestly though, one of the reasons why I really like laser TVs though is that they are very simple. They don't really take up any wall space, of course, and if they look good, they're able to just live on like a console table. You don't have any like external stuff. A lot of them have like built-in smart TV services and streaming services built in, which the U2 has as well. And just by having like this singular piece here that is able to deliver such a large viewing experience is the reason why I often do recommend laser TVs in the right setting. When it comes to the cooling side though, that is like a really important thing to note in laser TVs, because they're often loud, they get very hot, and the smaller and more compact they are, the louder they're going to be. So in this case, when the projector showed up being larger than I expected, I actually found that it was actually a good thing, because not only does it look great, but it still fits the entire setup. The design and everything is very well done, the build quality is there, but inside there's actually 5 fans that are able to keep the sound to under 28 decibels in terms of what it emits. And even after having it on for like 2, 3, even 4 hours at a time, I could not even hear it, because not only is it very quiet in its operation and its smart temperature control, but with the speakers and the dual 15-watt setup and dual 10-watt tweeters, it is really able to nicely like brush that out with the 360 acoustic effect. So now we've talked about the sound quality and the image quality, and the general conclusion is that this is actually a really good projector for its price, for the image quality features and also the sound quality, which is often overlooked when it comes to these laser TVs. So up until now, the overall experience for the price of $2,100 for a laser TV of this size, I feel like it's a great value. The image quality is great, the sound quality, the intention towards that category is also nice, but how about the UI? And the JamGo U2 is actually run by Luna OS, which is an Android-based system that I found to be very clean and minimal. In a lot of like smart TVs, I do like the fact that they have like a nice grid and everything, but sometimes it just gets overcomplicated. And as soon as you boot it up, you'll see that the TV just has the JamGo menu, it has the settings on the left side, it also has the JamGo app which allows you to control, and you can also plug in external sources for content, but you can also head over to the App Store as well, which I feel like is what a lot of people are going to use. And with this remote right here, it is actually very minimal as well. You have your different controls on the side, you also have your source button, the power, your little joystick, and your volume settings button. All these quick menus are all right here. You don't have any like direct buttons to like YouTube or Netflix, which I often do appreciate. But in my case, I have also connected a keyboard to it because I personally like to just type everything in if you're searching for a specific movie, and with Bluetooth, that allows you to do that very easily. And I'll say that like the overall menu system is decent. It is powered by a MediaTek processor and it has 3 gigs of onboard RAM with 32 gigs of storage. But I do feel like it has like the basic apps that I need, including YouTube and Netflix, but I would say you could take the experience to the next level by connecting an external source, such as an Apple TV or like a Chromecast. I feel like they've really left it for you to decide what type of experience you like, because Luna OS, to be honest, is very bare and relatively minimal while still giving you the basic necessities, but I do feel like I really enjoyed it a lot more when I did have a Chromecast connected. With like the native support of an external platform, you're able to like stream things directly from like Apple AirPlay or from like Chromecast. And as someone who literally just uses YouTube and Netflix, I do recommend that route. So I've got to say, in terms of the overall like UI experience, if you want something that is simple and out of the box and ready to go, then this platform and the Luna OS is going to be one that you're very, very happy with. But if you want to have like a ton of customization and like a more sophisticated interface, then you might want to connect an external streaming platform or like a streaming stick. Generally speaking, those settings are all very easy to navigate. They don't overcomplicate it. You can change some of the settings when it comes to the image quality, the brightness, and all that kind of stuff. But I do feel like it would be nice to have a manual calibration mode, because perhaps someone might have like a very specific setup that doesn't really work out of the box. I can't really vouch for that, because when I was setting up the JamGo U2, it was pretty much ready to go based on the suggested distance, and everything is fully in focus. But I think just having that like safeguard of being able to still like customize it or tweak it a little bit is always nice for any expert users out there. So at the end of the day, what do I think about the JamGo U2 for $2,100? And even though that sounds like a lot of money, if you look at a great TV out there nowadays that's like 55 inches or 65 inches, you're probably going to be spending around that price. And if you guys are looking at like something that is able to produce a 100-inch image, then you're gonna notice that the options available on the market are typically $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and even $9,000. And even then, it's still only in the consumer range, because projectors can cost $20,000 to $50,000 if you really get serious. And I think $2,100 is a price point that a lot of like prosumers or people who watch like a lot of TV are willing to invest in. And for that price, this model right here is very worth it. It does have all the features of like a more expensive laser TV. It has great image quality. It has a decent amount of size of 100 inches, even though some do go up to 120 inches. And it also has great audio as well, so you don't really have to go and buy anything else. And the only thing that I would recommend is maybe getting like a Chromecast or Apple TV to go with it, because I do feel like the software was definitely not my favorite part overall. But I think the core areas of like the actual image quality and sound quality have all been done very well, and I think it's a great buy for that price. So at this point, I think like anybody watching this video is going to be in 2 different categories. Somebody who's learning about a laser TV for the very first time, or somebody who is thinking of either getting one or sure they want to get one, or maybe deciding between a TV or a laser TV. And the reason why I think like a laser TV is like a very easy option in this situation is just because the sheer image size. If you have the space for it, then this right here is able to do that. And the fact that it comes in at that price point close to a nice TV, also makes that choice a lot easier. When you start to get into the price range of like $5,000 to $6,000, I feel like I'd probably go for a TV because there is like a diminishing return at that point, and you can get a really good like OLED or QLED TV that is able to be in like a 4K or 8K resolution as you get higher up in that price point, at least in Canada. I don't know about American pricing. I'm sure like you guys have a lot cheaper TVs out there, but I think for this price point, it allows you to have something that is truly cool. And also the fact that at $2,100, the speakers on this laser TV are gonna be better than any others that you're going to find in a TV in that price range. So those are kind of like the three main advantages of why a laser TV is better. If you guys want to see more videos about like home tech and also office tech, just make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel and drop a like on this video.